My tribute speech is on Ronald Reagan, 1911 to 2004. The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger honored us by the manner in which they lived their lives. We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them. This morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye, and slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God. This is the final paragraph of the historic speech that our 40th President, Ronald Wilson Reagan, gave on January 28, 1986. Earlier that morning at 11:39 a.m., the Space Shuttle Challenger had exploded just 73 seconds after takeoff. This was not the speech he was supposed to be giving that evening. Instead, he was supposed to be delivering his fourth State of the Union address. However, he felt it was a day of mourning and remembering, and postponed the State of the Union and gave this one instead. That night he spoke not only of duty and bravery and of the lost in their bravery, but of the bravery of those like them. Speaking directly to the school children across the country who had watched not only the Challenger launch but the subsequent disaster live on television that morning, he told them that the future belonged to the brave. The next morning, he telephoned the families of the 7 astronauts lost in the disaster. This task was nothing new to him. He had been in the Army Air Corps during World War II, and it was his duty to contact the families of the combat cameramen killed in action to inform them of the death of their loved ones. It was a task that he never got used to, and one that, unfortunately, as president, he had to perform quite often. President Reagan was a charismatic leader with a high emotional intelligence, known to crack jokes often, though often at inappropriate times. He used humor to communicate his beliefs, especially those fundamental to his governing. One of his favorite jokes is about a farmer and a lawyer who were involved in a head-on collision. The farmer tells the lawyer that he looks a bit shaken and perhaps he should have a sip from the bottle that he has in the back of his truck. The lawyer agrees, but still looks a bit shaken, so the farmer offers him another sip. After a few more, the lawyer suggests that the farmer join him. The farmer declines, saying that he's waiting for a state trooper. Because of his emotion, many intellectuals did not consider President Reagan to be one of them. The American people, however, felt that this made him more approachable. Despite many domestic policy issues, President Reagan was re-elected to office in 1988 by the largest margin in U.S. history, and when he left office, his approval rating was over 70%. He was also not perceived to be a typical politician. Instead of adjusting his belief structure to fit whatever was popular at the time in order to be more electable, his strongly held principles were put to the forefront of his campaigns, and he made no apologies for them. A perfect example of this was his theory that the United States and its system of capitalism would succeed while the Soviet Union and communism would fail. Many experts thought that he was not only stupid, but crazy. They were convinced that the Soviet system would sustain itself indefinitely. Reagan's theory ultimately proved correct. Empowerment was the cornerstone of Reagan's leadership style. While governing, he set policies and goals for his people to accomplish, and his job was to ensure that they had whatever they needed to achieve them. Giving full responsibility to subordinates fostered an environment of greater creativity and motivation. This empowerment went further than the Oval Office or cabinet meetings. It was the basis of several policy decisions. He felt that Americans should be self-reliant in order, as he put it, to give the individual the self-respect that goes with performing a useful service. With this principal belief, he brought about a reduction in welfare rolls and put more people to work than ever before. It is generally felt that President Reagan was an effective leader, a phenomenal motivator, and of course, a great communicator. His principled nature, relaxed style, and sincere feelings made him beloved by many Americans. You may disagree with his politics, but it cannot be denied that he was a visionary who changed our country forever. He and the extraordinary ones like him will be missed. All we need to begin with is a dream that we can do better than before. All we need to have is faith, and that dream will come true. Thank you for your time.